I had found a cure for a disease or something.
Well, in a funny way, you have found
What's
a cure.
the disease?
Yeah.
The blues, it's called.
Oh, yeah.
People find great joy in you, Joy. They find great humanity in you. And so that's why people are applauding. That's why they are. Well, these people in this room, you know. And
were they brought here particularly because
yes, we did. We found all these people who all are in the Joy Behar fan club specifically.
Thank you.
And there's more to come.
So I know I have at least this many fans.
Yes.
Yes.
Nice.
And that's, you know.
I see your fans outside the building every day, Joy.
Yeah.
Waiting for you to come in
That's
the building.
TMZ.
What's your mind? In any case, today we're celebrating 20 years of Joy on The View. We have planned a lot of stuff, but we're going to get to that a little later. But first, we want to knock out some hot topics before we get on top of Joy.
Are you sure you don't want to just talk about Joy?
No, please.
Behar. Behar.
I say,
I'm just kidding. I know you mean it so much. I'm sorry.
I am so perverse on this, but it feels like the day I got fired. I don't know, but it does.
Because people, again, because people came out.
Yes.
And they found this out, and they wanted you to know what you meant to them.
Yeah.
But it feels like that. So
Yes,
if I don't
but
come
you're
in
not
tomorrow,
going to. Listen, if you don't come in tomorrow, it's going to be a lot more trouble than you think. Yeah.
But I think you want to talk about Trump. If this was your perfect day, you want to talk Trump.
Well, let's start with
Yeah.
today's episode of Who's Zooming Who in D.C. Paul Manafort may have been a mole for the White House inside the Mueller investigation this whole time. Is this why you know who said in an interview that a pardon is not off the table? And right before we went on air, you know whose former lawyer, Michael Cohen, pleaded guilty to misleading Congress about contact with Russia. Is Trump freaking out because people and things are closing in? Did Manafort play Mueller like a fiddle? Who has the upper hand here?
It is like a soap opera.
It is a giant soap opera.
It is.
I know he says he's not going to The Apprentice anymore. This is The Apprentice.
It is.
This is the reality show. We're all trapped in the middle of it.
I got to tell you, this news about Michael Cohen, we always knew when Michael Cohen flipped that he probably had some significant information.
Yeah.
Now he's pled guilty to lying in front of Congress about the Trump Tower plans that the Trump Tower was going to be built in Moscow. So he said, you know, everything ended when Trump became president in January of 2016. Now we know those conversations continued through July 2017.
Well, we knew that then.
But that means that
somebody had to prove
Michael Cohen lied to the public, to the Congress, and the president lied to the American people about his financial dealings. I know. But the thing is, and we've talked about this before.
Yeah, but Trump says, this is what I saw him 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, Trump just spoke.
Going on and on, bloviating on and on because he's so nervous. But he said that there was no deal. There was no Moscow Trump Tower.
Yeah.
So it never happened. So what's the big deal? What do you say to that?
It is a big deal because if it happened, if these negotiations were going on while he was president, it's precisely what the framers of our Constitution wrote in to protect the American people against, because we want to make sure that this president, any president, is not putting his self-interest before the interest of the country.
And is there a smoking gun here, do you think?
I think so.
What would
I
be?
think
buildings.
There'll be documents, you know, negotiation documents. There could be tapes. That's the funny thing when people lie to federal prosecutors. Don't they know that federal prosecutors usually don't even ask questions they don't know the answer to already?
True.
Like they have the Federal Bureau of Investigation working for them.
They're
the best investigative tool in the world.
They're usually asking questions they already have the answer.
We always do that.
That's
we always
why
do
not
that.
having Manafort, I don't think, is a huge deal for Mueller.
not.
And it also sadly doesn't surprise me that Cohen has lied to Congress and that Manafort's
lied to
lawyers, I mean, with Trump's lawyers, because these are bad guys. It's not like he surrounded himself with upstanding
But that's not what
citizens.
Trump says. Trump says that they're very brave, that Michael is not
Not
brave.
Michael Cohen. He called him weak just a moment ago.
The others, because the other ones are not flipping. Those are ready to get pardoned.
But there's also a chance that the public doesn't even get the results of this report. Right? I think there's this idea that Mueller's going to stand in front of the camera and he's going to, you know, list a bunch of things that they found. But ultimately, Mueller gives it to Whitaker. That's why his role is so important, because Whitaker, the Attorney General, can then decide to just keep it quiet, just give it outline to
But
Congress,
there's so many leaks.
or release it.
It'll leak. Today's a good day. Today is a good day for Donald Trump to resign. I really believe that.
for 20 years on The
That's my
View.
gift. If he would, Don will do it for me,
Well, it's
okay?
really closing in, right? I mean, Mueller's investigation is so
I'm
methodical.
sorry, I don't like working in hypotheticals. We don't know what we don't know yet. That's what Abby, I think you just said right there. And that we don't know what happens until Mueller comes out. The thing that makes me the most angry is the idea that Paul Manafort could possibly be pardoned. His relationship with Trump aside, his lobbying firm was nicknamed the Torturers Lobby for spinning foreign dictatorships, including governments in Nigeria, Kenya, Zaire, Equatorial Guinea, Saudi Arabia, Somalia, and the Ukraine. Blood money. He's a traitor to the United States of America, one way or the other. You should not, and like, all this other stuff aside, he helped Vladimir Putin. He's a traitor to the United States of America. If he is pardoned, I don't know what I'm going to do on this show.
Pardon him. I think he has to save the pardons for his children, frankly. Because you can't pardon everybody.
He's got a lot to give out, though.
Kids in the family.
But there's rumors right now that's what's going to happen, and I think President Trump himself said it's not off the table.
He said it's not off the table. Although, if prosecutors are smart, they'll charge him on the state level, and then there's no presidential pardon for that.
So basically, Whoopi, who has the upper hand?
Great,
Mueller
Sonny.
has the upper hand.
Thanks,
I think.
Pat
Well, right now-
I feel better, Sonny. Thanks.
Before we go to break, what have we learned that we don't know? What we don't know. We'll be right back with more Hot Topics.
Still ahead. Join the party as we celebrate Joy's 20th season on The View with the marvelous Mrs. Maisels, Rachel Brosnahan, and Tony Shalhoub.
Welcome back. Sonny Hostin has a correction.
Yeah, just one quick thing. So Cohen says he told the court that he was still engaged in discussions about the Trump Tower project as late as June 2016 when Trump was campaigning. Because remember, Trump said during his campaign he had no business interest in Russia. Cohen went on to say during his plea that those business interests were not severed and in fact continued into Trump's presidency.
This could be it.
So
This could be it.
just want to put the timeline out there.
Thanks, Sonny.
Well,
It's either him, I think Michael Cohen, or Stormy Daniels going to get him.
Yeah, or a combination of both.
Yep.
I'm going to let that go. As much as I think that would be a classic joke, it will not work for this story. The holiday classic Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer aired over the weekend. So, of course, it set off an online debate about some of its so-called disturbing themes. People accuse Santa of being a bully. Don't they know the song? Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer had a shiny nose.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Yep. And if you ever saw him, you would say it glowed.
Right.
All the other reindeer used to laugh and call him names.
Yeah.
Right.
They never let poor Rudolph play it any reindeer game.
Which was not nice.
Then,
You letting Santa off the hook.
one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say,
Yeah.
Rudolph,
Yeah.
with your nose so bright, come on, let me slay tonight. And then all the reindeer loved him.
Yeah.
And you shouted out and played. Rudolph, the red-nosed reindeer, you gonna go down in history.
That's true.
Where's the problem?
That's true. Well,
The hero. He's a kid that nobody believes in. And suddenly, they realize he is special. He is who he is for a reason.
Right.
And he becomes the hero. Where's the problem?
Right.
It's Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
What is the problem? They were saying that he was being bullied, and that Santa basically told Donner, his father, you know, you got a bum kid here. There's like something wrong with him. He's not normal.
Clearly, he was wrong.
He was wrong.
Rudolph's the hero. What's the problem?
I will say, that's our favorite. It's our favorite Christmas movie. The part that I didn't like was, remember the dentist elf, Hermie?
He's great.
How about when he took out all the teeth of the Bumble?
He was helping the abominable snowman because he had a toothache. This is my favorite
I feel like
Christmas
he took
movie.
Didn't somebody take off all the teeth?
Here's the problem. He had a job. Hermie wasn't living off the grid. He was working. He's a dentist.
Yeah.
What's the problem?
But he took out all his teeth.
Christmas.
Did he take out all the teeth?
No, fantastic.
It's
so
good.
good.
It
And
is
also,
fabulous.
The
I didn't know there was a
Unrealistic
dentist
Boys
in there.
has a really beautiful story
It has
about
an
boys
affectionate
that aren't
story.
accepted. If Hermie is triggering you, I don't know what life is
But
like
that's it.
for you all day long.
I don't hear the objection.
I don't
understand.
understand.
No one on The View has a problem with this, which is really saying something.
Where's the rest of it? There's another.
They said until he could offer his friends something,
Yeah.
they just
Abby,
bullied him.
that's-
That's what the
Abby,
critics are saying.
Excuse me,
Got to come.
critics. Then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say, "Hey, kid, you got the nose. Can you give me some help?" Does Rudolph have an attitude? Does he say, "Oh no, y'all are so mean to me, I'm not gonna help you"? No, he said, "You know what? Kids need to get their presents, Santa.
Yeah, but they're
I can
saying,
help you."
Whoopi, they're saying that Santa is using Rudolph for his nose.
No.
That is
Right?
an
Well,
interpretation.
That's
an interpretation.
That's the
You know what? He may be using him for his nose because Santa knows no one else in the North Pole
it.
can help. And he's got to get those toys to the kids.
Right.
And what's more important to Santa than getting the kids toys?
Rudolph's nose.
Rudolph's safety, getting it all done safe.
Yeah.
That's what it is. We'll be back.
Next, we're celebrating 20 years of joy with her most unforgettable moments, and some famous friends reflect on joy.
Honest.
Authentic. Kick-ass.
Empowering. Comedian. That's 2 words. Sorry.
Have you found your skin?
Congratulations to our friend Joy Behar, who just hit the historic 20-year milestone on The View.
Yes. It's amazing.
And this, God bless and keep you. We asked her.
That's the copy. God bless and keep you,
God
my
bless and
friend.
keep you.
All right.
Write that to
God bless and keep you.
We asked her what the ride has been like so far, and with some help from her friends and people who know her best. Check it out.
I love that top.
How many years, man?
I know. Well, you know, you get hooked on a show like this because you can say whatever you want. Being a talk show host comes naturally to me because I'm a natural blabbermouth. This is no clip, right? Okay, that's all right. Yeah, I grew up in the tenement. My parents are working class people. I was never told in my family to shut up. And I took them quite seriously. Not literally, but seriously. I was successful late in life. I mean, I did not start my career in showbiz until I was about 39.
This is a show that I have always wanted to do.
The original audition for The View was held in a hotel room. And the first team of people were me, Debbie Matenopoulos, Meredith Vieira, and Star Jones. Barbara was watching us, like, you know, through the see-through mirror or something, like they have in Law & Order. Let's talk about the Oscars, which really sort of brings us
Speaking
to...
of plastic
Well, in a
surgery?
way it does. It's like the night of 100 scars, okay?
Barbara, to me, is like a magician. Immediately, we clicked. We just clicked. It's very hard to create that spark, and she did it.
My name's Joy Behar. My real name actually is Josephine Okudo. You'll learn much more about her in the year and years to come.
Barbara Walters was the draw because I was poised to be in a sitcom and other things were happening for me at that time. And then I got a call for this job. And the other jobs paid a lot more, so you would think I would take those, but I didn't because I thought Barbara Walters is not going to have a stupid show. In the early years, they had me jumping through hoops on this show. I had to go out west and ride a horse. Whoopi pushed me up a pole one time. I did line dancing in Texas. They had me doing all sorts of crazy stuff.
You know, she's sort of this Frank the My Dear, I don't give a damn type of person, which is ironic because she does give a damn about everything except how people perceive her.
You know that she is honest about herself and honest about you. She's not going to sell you out for a laugh.
Joy is consistent in what she does and who she is. She doesn't mince words, and that's the great thing about her.
That was total BS, and you know it. You're too smart not to know that.
She makes you know what she feels.
That makes me mad.
And she will challenge you if you come at her again, and she will win. She will win.
Why not just find another person who had none of this ambiguity?
Well,
there are many judges out there who are quite capable of the job. I basically talk to everybody the same way. I don't talk to presidents different from what I talk to Gulmad Angelouts. Who was Gulmad Angelouts? She's an old Italian lady I grew up with. She's dead now. What's the controversial sex book that's on millions of women's bedside tables? He doesn't know it.
I don't know that.
Good. Okay, next.
But I'll ask Michelle when I get home.
Joy is the person that says what almost everybody else is thinking, but might be afraid to say.
Right here, you're being delusional.
No, I'm not. I'm not being delusional.
Is the media supposed to not report on the fact that 95% of what he says is a lie? I love to have a politician in the hot seat. I've met you before. You've always been very charming.
Meet the press is easy. You guys are tough.
I particularly like it when I disagree with them.
She was asking me my opinion.
Okay. Well, this is called The View, so we all give our opinions here.
People forget that she's a comedian, and she'll get in trouble for stuff, and it's just like, she's a comedian, leave her alone, she's just being funny, we're just comedians.
And I don't go to horror movies. After this election, I've had enough nightmares.
We see things in a twisted, comedic way, and it's not always politically correct.
Just say I am not a crook. Do it. Got the hair and everything. Come on. Do it like this. I am not a crook. Come on. I have something for you. My birth certificate. You opened it, then you closed it. Then you opened it, then you closed it. Is it fair to say you suffer from premature interpretation?
So, just before we went on, our EP says to me, well, people may get very upset with you because you say you take a private plane because you want to talk to people. That's right. I don't. Sometimes because people talk to me all day long. Yeah. And sometimes that 5 hours is the only time I don't have to do anything but go somewhere. But when I'm going, I don't want other people seeing me go, oh, my God. Yeah. I don't want to be over here no more. Oh, my God. Because that's how I fly. Yeah. So you don't want to be on a plane with me either. Just FYI. Anyway.
Yeah. But looking is not like the fun. Didn't that come up because of the Kardashians, though? That's something.
That came up because of the whole carbon footprint conversation. But there's more proof that humans are contributing to the environmental disaster, Joy.
Okay. Don't look at me.
The Arizona dad who used a high-powered shotgun and explosives to reveal a gender. Take a look.
So what was
that reveal? Well, it was supposed to tell you that they're having a baby boy.
It was a boy.
Because it was like blue powder.
But that reveal caused a 45,000-acre fire that took 800 firefighters to put it out.
That's terrible.
Yeah,
what
in
an
my
idiot.
home state, man.
Who is this idiot?
Yeah. I mean, didn't he notice that there was a lot of dry brush?
Exactly.
Well, there's fire hazard warnings
everywhere,
in Arizona. You can't light off fireworks a lot of places because of that.
He also just wasted about 2 kids' tuition because he's got to pay over $200 grand over the years to make up for it.
It's $8 million. He caused $8 million worth of damage.
You know, when I revealed Isabel's gender last year.
Don't tell me you did that.
No, but I thought at the time I was being ridiculous.
Like, Megan, get a shotgun. I
totally.
want to
Megan, give me your gun.
Gender.
Like my sister got a cupcake, filled it with the color, and I had my sister buy a dress, either blue or pink, and I thought I was being crazy because people didn't used to do gender reveals, and now they've become this like huge party, and obviously.
Well, you know why people didn't used to do gender reveals? Because you didn't know.
They didn't know. Yeah.
And what didn't they used to do it spring, remember?
Yeah, but this is the days when, Joy and I can speak to this, where they basically wheeled you into the hospital.
Woke you up later.
Shot you up, and then you went and they said, push. And you pushed and they were like, oh, it's a boy.
See? I feel like that's one of the best surprises in the world. Like, it's so difficult to be surprised today. And I know when I was having Gabriel, I didn't want to know. I made the mistake of bringing my doctor husband into the sonogram, and he was like, "Oh, there it is." And I was like, "No," you know, because he spilled it.
He saw his gender.
He saw the
he saw his penis.
He saw the junk.
Yeah.
And
He was well endowed.
and he kind of ruined it for me because I truly
You like
just
a
wanted
surprise.
It's the only
See, I
one
couldn't
that
wait.
can be
Surprise. The surprise is when they say you're pregnant. That's the surprise.
And on that note, we'll be back.
He really.
You know what? It is kind of a sad bikini bottom day because the man who created SpongeBob SquarePants, Steven Hillenburg, succumbed to ALS at 57 years old. He created SpongeBob, which has been, for lots of kids, a joyous and fun event, whether you're watching it on television or on stage. He did a wonderful thing. He created this great character.
There's that
so
great
he'll be
show on
missed.
Broadway, isn't there?
Yes,
Still there?
yeah, no, it's gone. But, you know, he did all that. He was part of
And
all
it will
that.
live on, thank
So
you.
young.
It will. And son, tell everybody what you've been up to.
Yesterday, I emceed the UNICEF Snowflake Gala, and UNICEF is just such an incredible organization. It's been around for 70 years, and it does so much for children in 190 countries all around the globe. Last night, we raised almost $4 million. It was the biggest raise ever. But one thing I just want to mention very quickly, we had a young girl, her name's Ilse Martinez. She's from Honduras. And what was so incredible was she came here at 8 years old, didn't speak any English, has now become top of her class on Long Island. And she told her story and told about how difficult her life was in Honduras, but also said when she hears people talking about migrants and refugees as criminals and gangsters, it is so hurtful to her, but that she's doing everything she can to be an example for Americans that this is what a migrant or a refugee looks like. And I just, my hat
You
was
know,
off.
the UN is all
UNICEF
I mean,
is amazing.
it's an amazing group.
It's amazing. So,
Now, I have a public service announcement right now. The next time you go into your fridge, take out all of that Thanksgiving leftover food and throw that crap in the trash. It's spoiling. It's over. Next comes Christmas. Get rid of it. And just so you know, I'm not being just a cold-hearted person. No more than 3 to 4 days after the turkey is cooked. It should be in the trash by the end of Monday. The latest.
but what if you repurpose it into a soup?
It says
Then you can fry it.
gravy,
And freeze
if
it.
it's homemade, is okay after 1 or 2 days. Cranberry sauce, good to eat up to 14 days after your meal. Stuffing and dressing, very important. Good to eat up to 3 or 4 days after, but after that, throw it out. Mashed potatoes, though, I don't know who's keeping those mashed potatoes. But typically, it's good to eat about 3 to 5 days after being cooked.
My
I don't
mashed
know who
potatoes
said
last
that.
night were good. I used your mother's recipe.
Oh, yeah, you did.
I did.
Yes.
Her mother gave me a recipe. It was blue cheese mashed potatoes.
With bacon.
And it tasted good last night.
Listen.
I ate yesterday, too.
That's right, and that's why you gassy today.
I was gonna say-
We'll be right back.
Queer Eye's Fab Five are on a mission to paint red states pink. So how's that going? They're live on The View. Next.
Guys,
This week on The View, things get marvelous with Rachel Brosnahan and Tony Shalhoub. And Joy celebrates 20 years on The View.
I was Barbara Walters' favorite. Just saying.
You were.
This week on The View.
got your...
When you put a gaggle of gay guys in a trailer in the middle of Appalachian Trail Mountains, honey, we are going to give you a fashion show.
Get it, get it, get it, walk it, walk it.
Jonathan does not stand by full shirts. It has to be a crop.
You're like Christy and Naomi.
He wants full exposure of your midriff.
Every day.
I love this show. So the Netflix reboot of the reality makeover show Queer Eye has become a feel-good pop culture phenomenon, and now they're sharing some behind-the-scenes advice in their new book, Queer Eye, Love Yourself, Love Your Life. Please welcome Queer Eye's Fab Five.
You know what it is? True story. It's because Anthony told me what to do, and so no, he told me to sit in front of him, and so I did. But he heard the wrong thing. It happens sometimes. So
all the time for me.
No. We get lost sometimes in public. It's okay.
Yeah, we do.
I so badly want to come hug you guys. I love the show with all the negativity in the world. Your show is inspirational. It's unconditional love.
Thank
People in the
you.
audience love you guys. So thank you. But Karama, let's start with you, because what a year it's been, 2018, for you guys. It has been such a good year. You won 3 Emmys in the cast. You have just been named Entertainers of the Year by Out Magazine. Karama, what has all this attention been like?
It's been amazing for us. I mean, for 5 gay guys to go into rural America and feel as if we're making a change and bridging people together, it feels really good. And then you're doing it with your brothers, people you love. It's pretty amazing.
You do go into Trump country, don't you?
We do all the time.
How does that work out? How does that work out for you?
Oh, it's hard sometimes because, you know, you're greeting people who don't have the views that we have.
Yeah.
But yet we go in there with empathy and love, and we say we're going to find our common ground instead of looking at the differences so that we can grow together.
We go in not defining somebody by a vote or a side. We go in defining them as people, and in turn, they begin to define us as people, and bridges start to get
I heard
gapped.
that one of them was wearing a Make America Great hat. What'd you do with that person?
He put it on. I threw the hat away, but
Make
sorry,
sangria.
Yeah, but that guy actually, ironically, he and I are best friends.
Are you dating him now?
No. He's straight. I'm a happily engaged man.
You are, and you said you're a bridezilla, though.
I am a bridezilla. I'm sorry. I've been dreaming about my wedding since I was, I think it was my baby, since I was 12, 13 years old. And the minute I got to start planning a wedding, I mean, I went full force. The other day on Thanksgiving, we actually spent the first 3 hours of Thanksgiving in the emergency room because he had a panic attack. We thought it was a stroke or heart attack.
What are you doing to him?
I know. And then the doctor's like, what have you been talking about? And he was like, the wedding. But I can't help it. I just rented a big carnival wheel. It's like, I mean, it's going to be...
Carnival wheel.
Yeah, the
Carnival wheel.
She's a Ferris wheel.
Ferris wheel?
Yes, a Ferris wheel. Yeah. Give me a moment.
It's going to be so fun.
Are we invited now? I want to go.
You love all of you are invited to our wedding.
Okay. I mean, the other great thing about this show is you give people the opportunity to get to know you as people. You know, because I think most people don't realize that gay people have been around us all of our lives, and a lot of times have had to hide. And so you suddenly meet folks, and you think, okay, here's what I'm doing, what can you do? And I know you had an experience with the preacher, yes? You want to tell me?
You know, what we're really trying to do is for the people out there who have never seen us as people. We're just that group of individuals they don't agree with, they don't know anything about us, they just know that their church told them...
liberals.
Yeah, they just told them that their church thinks that we're wrong. So and especially growing up very religious in the church 7 days a week, and then having the whole church turn their back on me, having a preacher message me, slid into my DMs and said, my whole life I was taught in
direct
church.
Message.
Yeah.
Direct message.
Poor usage of the expression, but
I know. That preacher did not slide into your DMs. Oh, yeah. My whole life I was taught in church that homosexuality is a sin, that they're pedophiles, that they're heathens, that they're definitely going to hell, and that they choose to be that way. And in turn, my church, I have preached the exact same way. And hearing you talk about how every single day of your life you cried and you begged and you pleaded and you prayed for God not to make you gay, but you still are.
Yes. I grew up Mormon.
Current husband, ex-Mormon. announcement.
Yeah. But you're a Pakistani Muslim. You are out about who you are and your life. What has the response been, not just from folks in Utah who have their opinions about things, but just around the world?
You know, I honestly thought that I'd have a really strong adverse reaction to me. You haven't really seen this before in mainstream, on a mainstream show, a big commercial show. So I was expecting the worst, and I am so lucky to have received the most beautifully warm welcome from people all over the world. I expected it from... Thanks. I was hopeful to receive that from Americans because sometimes they are wanting to be super, super liberal, so they're going to throw loads of love my way. But I wasn't expecting that from places like the Middle East and other very Muslim countries, and they've been truly wonderful. I get loads of DMs every day saying it's so nice to see a version of me on the TV. I prayed for that as a kid. I so desperately wanted to see a version of this on TV, and I never did, and I didn't know what my life would be.
Aren't going to be stuck when you say, here's an opportunity for you to learn, and I'm not going to judge you for learning. And that's what we do the entire...
And I'm going to give you time to learn. Remember, this is new for lots of people still.
And we're not lecturing them on the show. I don't lecture them. I don't say, oh, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that. It's just, here I am. This is me as a person. If you love me, great. If you don't, let's talk about it.
And sometimes sexuality comes up after them getting to know us, and it's just...
secondary.
So let me ask you something, because the other day... we were talking about the Thanksgiving Day parade, and there was this kiss from the show Prom. The Prom, I guess it's called. And a lot of people thought it was, you know, very wrong to do. A lot of people thought it was great. I wonder what you think of it.
I mean, I think it's a reminder that the rest of the country is not New York, and we need to remember that. But I think, like,
I'm so done making the people comfortable.
No, but wait. But like, you think like 50 years ago, someone like Yayoi Kusama hosted the first gay wedding. Like, we've made a lot of advancements, but we're not quite there yet. But shows like Dear Evan Hansen, which illuminate and shed some light on teen suicide and like the horrible pill problem for today's youth. And then for a show like this to normalize that, I think it's only a good thing. And let's just show more of it.
I've never seen it in the Macy's Thanksgiving
Right,
Day
it's the
parade.
third highest telecast.
And all those people who say we're not New York, they love to come to New York and see these films.
Absolutely,
If this were a heterosexual couple kissing on national TV, we wouldn't have had a concern.
We wouldn't be having this conversation.
Yeah, I think I've had to endure a lot of heterosexual kissing.
Actually, you would have. If it had been an interracial kiss, we'd be having this conversation.
Absolutely.
I mean, you know, listen, the bottom line is we have to be more patient than everybody else is with us. You know, because they don't know what you know, or what I know, or what Joy knows, or what Abby knows. And so we always have to remember.
Grace, I mean, how much do we have to keep
We have the ability to teach people through the arts, whether it's movies, something like Broadway, where families come from all over.
We've talked so much about changing hearts and unconditional love on this show, and it is shows like Queer Eye that's actually doing that in this country and around the world. So thank you guys for all that you do. Our thanks to the Fab Five, and of course you can catch the first 2 seasons of Queer Eye on Netflix, and the Queer Eye book is out now. Everyone in our audience is going home with a copy.
Celebrate 2 decades of joy.
Stop saying that. It can't be 20 years.
As Ms. Behar hits her landmark. Stars of one of her favorite shows, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Rachel Brosnahan, and Tony Shalhoub are joining the party. Plus, we're taking an epic look back at Joy's most unforgettable moments.
I can't sit here. I just walked off.
And how she changed the game on daytime TV and for women everywhere. The Joy of 20 tomorrow.
You know what? Welcome back. It just, you know, this show, we are kind of nutty on this show. We talk about all kinds of crazy stuff. We talk to wonderful people, and we have a good time. And what we want to say to people is you also can have a good time having these conversations with your friends. After all, the world is about having a good view. So thanks for watching. Thanks for coming. We want everybody to have a great day and take a little time to enjoy the view.